One Summer, Bill Bryson's Guide to the Swinging Sixties, is a fascinating and engaging exploration of the cultural, scientific, and political events that defined the summer of 1963 in America. The book delves into a wide range of topics, from the civil rights movement and the space race to the emergence of pop culture icons like the Beatles and the Beach Boys. Throughout the narrative, Bryson expertly weaves together historical facts, personal anecdotes, and witty observations, creating a vivid portrait of a pivotal moment in American history. The book begins by setting the stage for the summer of 1963, discussing the political climate and the key players who would shape the events of the season. President John F. Kennedy, who had been elected in 1960 on a platform of optimism and change, was facing increasing pressure from both the civil rights movement and the Cold War. The world was also on the brink of a new era, as the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union intensified, with Kennedy's ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon by the end of the decade. Against this backdrop, the civil rights movement was gaining momentum. Led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, African Americans were demanding an end to segregation and equal rights under the law. The summer of 1963 would prove to be a turning point in the movement, with the historic March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom drawing hundreds of thousands of people to the nation's capital. Bryson also explores the cultural landscape of the time, focusing on the music, movies, and television shows that defined the era. The Beatles, who had just arrived in America for the first time, were quickly becoming international sensations, ushering in a new era of British invasion pop music. Meanwhile, American acts like the Beach Boys and Motown artists like Marvin Gaye and the Supremes were also dominating the charts. The book also discusses the emergence of the James Bond craze, inspired by the release of the film Dr. No, as well as the popularity of television shows like the Beverly Hillbillies and the Twilight Zone. Science and technology were also making strides during this period. The development of the birth control pill, which would revolutionize women's reproductive rights, was underway. In addition, the first successful kidney transplant was performed, paving the way for organ transplantation as a viable medical treatment. The space program, led by NASA, was making rapid progress, with the successful launch of the Telstar communications satellite and the first manned Gemini mission. Throughout the book, Bryson intersperses personal anecdotes from his own life, offering a unique perspective on the events of the summer of 1963. He recounts his experiences as a young boy growing up in Des Moines, Iowa, and the ways in which the world around him was changing. These personal stories help to humanize the historical figures and events being discussed, making the narrative both accessible and engaging. One of the most compelling aspects of One Summer is Bryson's ability to weave together seemingly disparate threads of history into a cohesive and comprehensive narrative. He expertly connects the dots between the civil rights movement, the space race, pop culture, and scientific advancements, revealing the complex web of interconnectedness that defined the era. The book is meticulously researched, with extensive endnotes and a detailed bibliography, yet it remains highly readable and entertaining. One Summer is an essential read for anyone interested in understanding the cultural, political, and scientific forces that shaped America in the 1960s. Bill Bryson's engaging prose and keen insight make this a must-read for history buffs, pop culture enthusiasts, and anyone who wants to gain a deeper appreciation for the events that defined a pivotal moment in American history.